Okay, it is 9:25 a.m. I need to catch up with the watch list and do some other things, but just want to go over today just what I'm thinking about in terms of setups. AMC, I'm not going to trade this, but I'm very impressed to see that it is now, it got its, pre-market's at 32. This doesn't show pre-market in this chart, but it's at $32. That's pretty nice. I would not have, no way have held this thing. Even if I bought the breakout at 15, I would have sold the next day at 18. But that's very nice that it eventually led to this nice move. Very cool. I'm just out of curiosity. I doubt it, but I don't think GME. No, GME's looking nice too, but I think AMC is just a lot better. That's very impressive. Congrats to anybody who is still holding this or, ended up trading this. Even if you lost money, this is just something you learn from. This is a great thing to look at. I just don't understand. I mean, obviously people do it, but there are just some weird people who just short NASDAQ stocks, and they have like some of the sketchiest, patterns that you can imagine. Just so sketchy. But hey, congrats to anyone who does that. I spent a long time looking at listed stocks, and then I started looking at OTCs. Pushed myself to do OTCs. To me, OTCs are just so much better to trade. But we don't really get moves like these. Well, we do, but nothing that really. That's just like, I don't know, something that we do have crazy moves on OTCs like this. I feel like OTCs are just better because once in a while you get one of these on a NASDAQ, right? They look so nice, a clear breakout, but just some of the patterns, some of the way the chart moves, it's just so weird. But hey, again, just congrats to anybody. GGI, I think I'm going to remove this because I don't like how crappy it trades in terms of, like morning panic bounce plays, just a bunch of fake outs, just big random volume. It's just not something I'm interested in. I'm going to move it to the other watch list. It just won't be in here. MJWL will be a morning panic bounce play. Maybe it breaks under this 5-cent area, give or take, like very cleanly. Maybe gets lower than all of these wicks. That will be cool. NWGC, I will consider for a morning panic bounce play. Same with FBCD. HPIL, I'm going to remove this one too. Just seems like it's running out of steam. AABB, I'll consider it only if it looks clean. Not the most ideal one because it doesn't have too much range, but it could do it. HTZGQ, we'll consider it for a morning panic bounce play too. Might be a little weird today being 9:28 a.m. Maybe that's why AMC is going crazy, because a lot of people might be off today, and less volume but more ease of manipulation. So maybe that's why AMC is right where it is, because less people are trading. So it's just easier to influence the price, but still very impressive. 9:28 a.m. 2 minutes till the market open. Those are the setups I have right now. Alright, it is 9:43 a.m. I haven't made any trades today, and let's just go over it. FBCD, this one started to have a downtrend, but I can't explain it to you, but the price action was just so choppy, so strange. It doesn't trade with much volume, but it was just not understandable to me. I didn't like it that much when it was here in the 18s. I didn't like how it was also just right at that VWAP level where it could reject. I was thinking maybe it drops, green candle right towards VWAP, then kind of goes back and forth. I've seen that a few times. Or tries to make a leg down. Then I get in at 17.5 or something like that. And then, hopefully as the volume, in theory continues the downtrend, it creates this uptrend. But hey, this one, in that sense, it worked out. It just wasn't something I got in because I didn't like the price action. It's not like I was hesitant or scared. I was just very hesitant. Not because of being scared again, just because I didn't like the price action. 18, I saw this right here, thinking it could maybe be a level of support. Excuse me, that's pretty much what it was. Pretty nice here. Let me come back. I have to do something. Alright, I'm back. I don't know what I'll do with this one. Maybe I'll just leave it alone. In theory, it could drop towards VWAP and that could be a buy, but I don't know. That's a bit iffy. Just not really something I want to trade. MJW. Well, I was looking at this one too, but it just started to look all choppy. There was no consistently large volume candle either. And WGC. This looks like, I don't know what this looks like. That looks horrible. AAPT. I was looking at this one. I chose NW. Not NWGC. I chose FBCD over AAPT because I have seen it consistently do morning panic bounce plays, while this one is a bit new. It did it. It kind of skips right here on air, so this one might have even less volume here. But I mean, 84 to 89 so far. You know, sell a little past VWAP, a buy here. You know, in this 84 level, because you see the wicks. That's where is, you know, at the time a support level at some point holding it. AABB. I was considering this one. I even had two orders. I canceled them because I just didn't like the price action a little after placing it. 937 right here. I had an order for 205. It was on the bid, so I didn't get executed at all. I could have been executed, especially here, but I just started to not like the price action because it's not down that much on the day. When I realized, you know, that it's not really that much down on the day, I just thought, okay, this is probably not the best setup, so I'll stop looking at it. And that's exactly what happened. Just didn't like how little it was down, and no consistently big volume candle compared to everything else. Just like FBCD, this one had, you know, nice candles, kind of showing that, hey, this is, you know, something to risk off of. If the volume becomes bigger than this, that might be pretty bad. Yeah, and HCZGQ not doing anything. That's all I got right now. I'll keep looking for more setups, but nothing clear at the moment that I want to trade. Alright, it is 9:59 a.m. I had a trade here with AABB, and my executions were pretty trash. I didn't lose anything. It was still a profit, but I think if you just trade a tiny position like I did here with 1,500 shares, you're just not going to get executed. Maybe 1,500 shares was a random weird number. Maybe if it was a flat 2,000 shares, maybe that would have been more likely something that would have been executed better. I feel like if you have just a small position, you're going to have a harder time getting filled. It could just also be the market, but anyway, AABB, I knew this wasn't an exact morning panic bounce play, so that's why I was a bit more conservative in terms of my selling instead of waiting for VWAP. When I saw that we started having a spike and VWAP was starting to catch up, that's when I knew that, hey, this is not an exact size. I mean, I already know because it's having a second follow-up, so this is like a lower low off of the morning panic level. But because the VWAP is catching up, I consider it a sell early, so I took a buy. This was also bad too. At 9:54 right here is when I placed my order, right? So I could have gotten executed at anywhere from this 953 level to, you know, 57, but I did not get executed until later at 958, right, which was the next candle. Not the best entry. You know, it was right at the top of my limit. I ideally would have been interested in getting in at a lower level, like, you know, I know it doesn't seem much now, but like 954 to 956. Not the best entry there, but what was really bad was my exit, my sell. I placed a sell order at 956 right here. So right at the end of this candle, when it was in the high 19s, and it just did not get executed. It just took a very long time for me to get out. I don't know if it even shows when I got out. Yeah, that shows that 9:55 is when I got in. So placed the order at 9:54.23. So very early in this candle, the whole minute of 9:54 was not executed. I got executed at 9:55 right here at 9:55, so right at the beginning of the next candle at 9:58. Took like the entire inside of that minute to get executed. Now my sell, that was bad execution. Now I'm going to consider the idea that it was just because I traded a tiny position I'm gonna guess that was just the case, that I just traded a tiny position, and that's exactly why I was not able to get a nice entry and exits. In theory, maybe that's not the case at all, but here's the idea. Placed that sell order at 956.55, did not get executed until 958. So, I tried selling here at the end of this candle, right at that 20 level, all of 957, all of this downtrend, no execution, didn't get executed until 958.22. It took a very long time to get executed. Now I'm gonna be nice and say that, and it probably is the case, I just simply did not get executed well because I was just trading a small position size. I've learned that. Previously, like with FBCD, I've been trading anything that's like similar to a block size. So, here is 1,000 shares. So maybe a block of 2,000 would be something I can get executed. Maybe 1,500 is just a weird number, and that's a hard, one to get executed compared to the other. So maybe that's why. Maybe it wasn't even that I traded small, but I just wasn't trading a block size. So this is like 1,000, 2,000. I'm gonna guess 1,500 is not really a block size. So that's a good lesson in terms of that. It's not like 1,500, can be divisible into just into a 5,000 block. I don't see any 3,000 blocks. I just see 1s, 2s, and 5s. I think I just had to trade a better block size. This is a pretty random spike right here, touching VWAP. I'd be selling into that if I could, but just at the end of the day, not too bad. I did trade a small, tiny position, just 0.5%. Traded just a $300 position. Next time in the future, I'll consider a block size, so like 2,000 shares, not 1,500, just so I can just increase my chances of getting executed. I think that was really the issue, and that's also a great lesson. So FBCD did have a dip under VWAP, not at VWAP, under it. It spiked, but that's not a little something I'm not that used to. And WGC nothing. AAPT had a nice low volume spike here. That's incredible. That's the power of sub pennies. That's very nice. Would not have held through this. This would have been kind of sketchy if you ask me, but it is an uptrending stock, so the fact that it held it meant that it could have spiked, and that's nice. HTZGQ, nothing I want here. MJWL, nothing I want here. That's where I'm at right now. No setups. I'll keep looking. Not trying to play games here with AABB. Won't consider trading it anymore unless it puts up an inverse head and shoulders, and that's a possibility here. Shoulder, head, shoulder, right? If that happens and the shoulder is like at the level, maybe even an uptrending inverse head and shoulders, or just something that looks kind of clean to risk off of, I'll consider it, and I'll trade a block size of 2,000 shares. Don't want to trade large with here because it's not ideal, I just don't like, I think it's just, I don't like the risk a bit, then I would want to trade larger. That's where I'm at the moment. I'll make an update soon. Okay, it is 5:47 p.m. The markets have closed, and I'm just here to call it off. Just to go over everything that has happened. I had my trade with AABB, and that was a morning panic bounce play, high or low, not the initial panic, but the one afterward. I actually tried a few, attempts of buying it, but I'd cancel the order because I just didn't like the price action. Didn't look very nice. Wasn't down that much either. Eventually took a buy at 954. Very bad executions, especially on the sell, because it took the sell took 3 minutes to execute. My execution was at 958, and my sell, I guess a minute and 20 seconds. It just went literally over this section right here, but my buy was somewhere 950, 1958, 954. So my buy was somewhere right here, 958, and my sell was more or less right here at this 9.7 level right here, 19.7. Wasn't really the best morning panic bounce play at the end of the day, and I played accordingly, a small position because it wasn't the initial panic. I learned here the importance of, it could also just be a delay because it's an OTC. Sometimes it just takes a while, but excuse me. In this case, I think it's because I was trading with 1,500 shares. I should have traded 2,000 shares of block size. It probably would have been much better. I think that's a good lesson learned today. It was a tiny profit, tiny position of 295. A little more than 0.5%. Just, that wasn't my goal. Of course, my goal would have been to sell in the 20s, but that didn't happen. And even if it was in the 20s, I don't think it would have been that much of a percent gain. I guess it would have been better, but not that much better. Let's look at the other stocks. Again, AABB it looks like it faded the rest of the day. At some point, I was interested in buying, for maybe an uptrend towards the rest of the day, just if they're trying to keep this pump going, but it didn't seem like that was the case today. AAPT, it did have like a really choppy morning bank pounds play. I could have traded it in theory, but I didn't. I picked AABB. FBCD, I just missed it. Price action, didn't like it. Didn't like how it was such a big move right at the VWAP level. Expected it to be, maybe another red candle, but not totally at the low. But hey, I don't mind missing this one. I didn't like the price action there. It's not like I was being hesitant and scared. I just didn't like the price action. There were some big sellers on the ask. I think there was like 1,000 share seller, and he eventually got taken out. But 1,000, which is 1,000,000 shares, that's a lot in a stock like this that doesn't trade too much. HTZGQ, it faded. Baby panic right here. Nothing nice. NWGC, this is nice. I like this uptrend. I would have never have bought this, but that's pretty impressive. I like the range the stock offers. This thing, I hope I can get in for a morning panic bounce play. MJWL, yeah, it looks like nothing here. It did an uptrend. That's good, We'll be looking at this for morning panic bounce plays Tuesday. And just to see AMC, it looks like we're still in after hours. Maybe it closes at 6:26. But hey, look, somebody got squeezed, right? This thing was in the 30s. Super impressive. Got as high as 36, 40, 70 something. Just really nice. Right at the market open. Failed to hold VWAP. Right here. Never got towards VWAP. Volume was starting to fade a little. Nice downtrend. That's all I got. Just a pretty good day. AMC, I will not underestimate it that much in the future. I wouldn't have held towards this or sold anywhere near the highest, but that buy at 15 to break out and then to sell into 18 the next day, that was a clean setup that I could have traded. That's all I got. Overall, a good trading day. Not the best setup. I don't feel too bad, and I don't feel bad for missing FBCD because the price action, I just didn't like it. Big sellers on the ask, gonna call it off here. Overall, a good day on this somewhat official day. I look forward to Tuesday.